In 1999, an American investor scammed Jack Ma out of $5 million. 20 years later, his revenge was worth $50 billion. This is a magnificent revenge story, where East clashed with West, where arrogance fell and patience triumphed. The story of how English teacher Jack Ma was deceived in 1999, and how he turned this betrayal into an unforgettable revenge, 20 years later. In the spring of 1999, Jack Ma was chasing a crazy dream in his small apartment in Hangzhou with 18 friends. He wanted to start an e-commerce revolution in China, to connect small businesses with the global market. He had only a plan and unlimited passion, but he had one problem. He had no money. Jack Ma was 35 years old at the time. He was an English teacher, had no technology background, didn't know programming. He was an ideal target for Western investors who didn't trust Chinese entrepreneurs. Richard Crawford saw an opportunity when he learned about this situation. Crawford was a partner at Davidson Ventures, based in New York. He was an experienced investor who wanted to enter the Chinese market but had no local connections. Jack Ma was the perfect tool. "Jack, you're a visionary man, but you don't know the business world," Crawford said during their first meeting in Hangzhou. "I complete what you lack. I want to partner with you." Ma was excited. Finally, he had found an American investor who would believe in Alibaba. Crawford's plan was clever and ruthless. He would buy 40% of Ma's shares for $5 million, providing both financing and support for entering the U.S. market in return. On paper, it looked like a win-win situation. "Jack, you produce great ideas, but you have no experience in international business," Crawford said while signing the contract. "I'll open these doors for you. Together, we'll make Alibaba a global giant." Ma signed. It seemed like a reasonable deal for that time. The first year, everything went as planned. Crawford actually provided connections, arranged meetings with U.S. tech companies, helped promote Alibaba. Ma felt grateful. But in early 2000, strange things started happening. The strategic decisions Crawford suggested constantly weakened Alibaba's China focus. "Jack, the local market is too small. Let's make Alibaba a global platform. Don't get stuck on China," Crawford kept saying. Ma felt this was wrong. The Chinese market was still undiscovered. There was great potential. But Crawford insisted. In February 2000, Crawford went even further. At the board meeting, he presented Ma with a shocking offer. "Jack, we've decided to put Alibaba under more professional management. You focus on the technology part. Leave the CEO role to me." Ma's world collapsed. He no longer had a say in the company he founded. "Richard, this company is my dream. You're just an investor. Jack, dreams turn into businesses, and businesses require professional management. You're a great visionary, but you're not CEO material." Crawford's lawyers had prepared everything. There were hidden clauses in the contract, terms that Ma had missed. Legally, it was Crawford's right. Ma was left between two choices: sell his remaining 60% shares to Crawford and leave, or go to court and fight for years. That night, Ma sat alone in his home in Hangzhou. Crawford's last words echoed in his ears. "Chinese people can never catch up to Americans in innovation, Jack. You only know how to copy." But Ma didn't give up. The next morning, he called Crawford. "I accept the offer. I'm selling my remaining shares for $2 million. Crawford was celebrating his victory. "Smart decision, Jack. Now go find yourself a real job. Teaching suits you." But Ma had a plan. With $2 million, he rented a new office in Hangzhou. He founded his new company, Taobao. Crawford had taken the Alibaba name, but the e-commerce market wasn't just for one company. Alibaba was B2B focused, Ma told his team at the time. "We'll do C2C. Consumers will sell to each other. We'll build a real platform for the Chinese people." When Crawford learned about this situation, he was surprised but not worried. Jack is still chasing dreams. There can't be two e-commerce companies in China. But Crawford was making a huge miscalculation. Ma's Taobao was different. It was suited to Chinese culture, understood local needs, could empathize with Chinese consumers. Crawford's globalized Alibaba was disconnected from the Chinese market, a foreign platform. In 2003, Taobao launched. In the first year, it reached 1 million users. Crawford's Alibaba was stuck at 100,000 users. In 2005, Taobao reached 30 million users. Crawford's Alibaba went bankrupt. But Ma's revenge had just begun. In 2007, Ma rebranded Taobao under Alibaba Group. With the original Alibaba's bankruptcy, the name rights became free. Ma had taken back his own name. In 2014, Alibaba went public on the U.S. stock exchange. On the first day, it raised $25 billion, becoming the largest IPO in history. Ma's net worth exceeded $25 billion. Crawford was working at a small consulting firm. He was reading about the success of the man he once said Chinese people can't innovate in newspaper articles. In 2016, Crawford gathered courage and sent an email to Ma. Jack, I apologize for what happened in the past. Could there be a consulting position for me at Alibaba? Ma's response was polite but firm. Richard, we don't need consulting, but if you want to learn about Chinese culture and e-commerce, you can join our courses. In 2017, Alibaba's annual GMV exceeded $768 billion. It was bigger than Amazon now. Ma's wealth had reached $40 billion. Crawford had retired. He was living in a small apartment in New York, trying to get by on his retirement pension. In 2018, a Chinese newspaper wanted to interview Crawford. Is it true that you knew Jack Ma, the real founder of Alibaba? Crawford's answer was full of pain. Yes, I knew him. I scammed him out of $5 million. Now he's worth $50 billion. The biggest mistake of my life. But Ma's revenge wasn't just financial. In 2019, Crawford's son Robert was looking for work in China. He was an MBA graduate, wanted to work in the e-commerce sector. His biggest dream was to work at Alibaba. He applied to Alibaba. To avoid seeing his father's name on his CV, he had changed his surname. He was passing the interviews. He was successful. In the final stage, a routine background check was conducted. Robert's real identity was revealed. The hiring was rejected. Official reason: incompatible with company values. Robert called his father. Dad, what did you do? I can't work at any major company in China because of you. That day, Crawford understood. Ma's revenge had intergenerational planning. In 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic began, e-commerce exploded. Alibaba's value exceeded $700 billion. Ma was among the world's richest 20 people. Crawford was experiencing health problems. He needed expensive treatment, but insurance didn't cover it. He had to enter a nursing home. One day, while watching television in the nursing home's common room, he saw Ma's interview. Ma was speaking in Chinese, but the subtitles were in English. The greatest success in business is not proving right those who belittle you, but forgetting them. When Crawford heard that sentence, he understood Ma had already forgotten him. In 2021, Crawford was eating at a local Chinese restaurant and chatted with the waiter. The young man had immigrated from China, had worked as an engineer at Alibaba. Alibaba, very big company, Crawford said. Yes, Jack Ma, very smart man. He is our Steve Jobs. Crawford tried to smile. I knew Jack from before. Really, you very lucky. He is pride of China. Crawford paid the bill and left. Outside, a delivery truck carrying Alibaba's giant logo was passing by. In 2022, Crawford's grandson asked him, Grandpa, did you really found Alibaba? Crawford thought for a long time. Technically, it was true. He had financed the first Alibaba, but that Alibaba had long since died. The real Alibaba was Ma's revenge. My grandson, Crawford said, sometimes in life our biggest mistake is not trying to understand the cultures and people we look down upon. I belittled China. I belittled Jack, and he made me pay for it. In 2023, Ma had already withdrawn from Alibaba's daily operations. He was involved in education and environmental projects. His net worth was $35 billion. Crawford was living days when Crawford's was just a memory in the nursing home. In 2024, Crawford passed away. A small obituary appeared in the local newspaper. Former investor Richard Crawford, age 79. No condolence message came from Alibaba. Ma probably didn't even hear the news. At Crawford's funeral, his son Robert spoke. My father missed the biggest opportunity of his life. He had the chance to know Jack Ma, but he belittled him. That was the greatest revenge, being forgotten. Ma had taken his revenge by ignoring Crawford. The heaviest punishment was acting as if he had never existed. In 1999, the American investor had scammed Jack Ma out of $5 million. 25 years later, his revenge was worth $50 billion. But the most beautiful part, Crawford's name doesn't appear in any Alibaba history book. Sometimes the greatest revenge is erasing the other side from history.